Hello, everybody. We are back for episode 47 of the All About Counter-Strike podcast. We are officially over a year into making the podcast. It's a journey we've been on. We're nearly at 50 episodes. We've had a lot of fun doing this all, and I hope you guys are still enjoying it. Don't forget, I'm going to say at the beginning of the video, because I don't normally do this, like, comment, subscribe. If you comment, we normally answer. And as always, if you haven't joined the Discord yet, join the Discord. And the reason for that is you're going to ask us any question in the Q&A channel on the Discord, and it can get answered on the show. Oh, yeah, can't forget the other thing. Need to keep the tradition up. It is the 19th of January 2026. Actually, no, technically not anymore. It's still the 18th. Still the 18th. I was looking at my time where I've got my home time on the laptop.
Oh, yeah.
See, look at that. Rookie mistakes about to happen because we are in the same time zone. So I'll look at my phone. It's the 18th of January 2026. It is 11:55 in the evening. Blast, Premier, Bounty, Season 1 2026 has just finished. I've come straight home. Devilwalk's waiting for me, and we're doing a podcast. It's the same time for you in Sweden because I'm in Malta still.
Yeah, I mean, I was just waiting for you to do that kind of traditional intro for us. But
I
yeah,
am cooked, mate. I've worked all day.
I've been honestly, you probably had an easier day than I did because I've been solo queuing in FaZe. So it's
What's your
you've
elo
been
now?
chilling, dude. It's been this today has been absolute trash. I think I've lost 8
It's
games
the
in a row,
weekend. Oh, you shitter.
and that's 300 elo almost, like, or
Bro, you were up at 3K
240
again,
elo.
though.
Yeah, but I dropped down today, 240 elo. So
I will
we'll
say
see.
this, right? I'm not going to defend you because you should be better than that. You used to be better than that. And you are better than that. But, like, there are a lot of people out there who are level 10 who just 4 or 5 stack their way through games, like all friends, right? And they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 3.5 or I'm fucking 3.6 elo. Cool. No problem with that. Just go and solo and try because it's a whole different beast in there. Solo is like sometimes running around brainless, no mics, pure rages. Like Devil doesn't rage, but watching you rage at some of these people was genuinely the most amusing moments for me because you don't tilt. I'm the one that tilts. And yet you're like telling this guy, what do you mean? It's just obvious you do this.
But sometimes I get really frustrated. I'm the kind of guy that just I play. I don't mind people making 1 or 2 mistakes or 3 mistakes, but
Yeah.
the thing that really crawls like under my skin that makes me just rage uncontrollably is when the person that has continuously made mistakes, I've accepted them, but instantly someone else makes one mistake, they full rage. They go like, "What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing? What? How can you not think about
Blaming
this and
you.
that?" And yeah, and I'm just like, "Oh, my blood just boils," and I just start screaming. I insta mute them because I just generally think that I'd rather lose this game right now than hear your
Mhm.
voice one more time. That's where I
It's
get.
it's funny because like you play very smart CS, right? And even if you want to play a little bit fast or rush around or something, or even when you're calling for people and then they complain that like, oh, you didn't do this correctly. I'm thinking, guys, he plays the most like precise, perfect CS. If you can't like follow the basic instructions and like remember when he didn't wait for smokes and just started pushing and like literally you're still throwing the smokes and he's just gone and he's like, why did you not go with me?
Yeah, sometimes
uh,
it's well, I guess
I'm gonna
it's
make
like I
a I'm gonna make a
understand.
stream clip compilation, by the way, and we're gonna play it one time on the episode. I'll get our editor to go through my stream and just get all these devil crash outs from because people won't believe it.
The
Like,
people love me crashing out. I've every single team I've been on, when I get mad, it happens so rarely, and it's they explain it in a way where I'm almost nice when I'm raging,
yeah,
in a weird way, and people find it hilarious, like absolutely hilarious. They laugh their
it's
ass
because you
off.
do it so rarely. But I feel like we're putting you through like a mental test here because solo queue is something else. At your high elo as well, it's crazy.
I the thing is, it sometimes it goes really well, and you meet some absolutely wonderful people to play Counter Strike with, but other
Yeah.
times it's almost a gamble. Like almost every game I play, I at least have two people who are kind of nice to play with. But there's like
Mhm.
every time there's a guy without a mic, or at least he chooses not to
Oh.
use it.
But how is there
Um,
level 10s without a mic? I don't that just doesn't sit well with me. Like, that can't be real. Like, I don't care if you use the mic that's built into the laptop you're using. Because, by the way, some people do play on laptops still, but, like, just try something. Give me something. Or at least type. If you really don't have a mic,
well,
type something down.
I genuinely believe they have a mic. I just think that they don't care. And there's been, I made that tweet, and people, they don't communicate for 4 rounds, and then when they see a mistake, that's when they open their mouth. That's what I can't
Yeah.
tolerate. That's when I get fucking boiling. It happens pretty much every third game I play. It's not a uncommon occurrence, just a different kind of, obviously
Yeah.
circumstances every time, but it's very similar. But yeah, enough about that. I want to get out of
Wait,
the
wait.
the the
What's
solo
your elo
queue
now?
phase. It,
We need to know what
I think
your elo is.
I think it's just under 2,700 right now because I lost 240 today.
But you're still going for 3.5K, right? That's the goal you set yourself.
100%. I don't
Cool.
give a shit if I'm tilted, or I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up.
You never do. You never do. Some of the scrubs that are at 3.5, I know you can get it. That's I'm not worried about that. But we're gonna start today by looking at some of the recent news and stuff. Obviously, I've just been on Blast Bounty the whole time, so I've been on a crazy grind. Just all these online matches, fast turnarounds on the desk. Do you know what? Actually, I'll say this. I had so many lovely positive comments about me desk hosting. And I hate desk hosting. I think it's a job where you
Yep.
just direct traffic. Desk hosting for me is not fun because, like, you need to give the analyst time to talk. And I want to talk about, like, my opinion and stuff. I don't see myself just a desk host who's going to sit there and be like, and this is coming up and we go here
Well,
and we do this.
I have a
Some people
I have a
enjoy it.
question. I have a question
Yeah.
about that because you were only doing two-man desks at
But this is why it
the Blast
worked.
now.
This is why I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was what I was going to ask. If it works better because you can express a little bit more opinions.
Bro, this for me, like, people will say it's not good because obviously you want maybe two analysts. Like, it'd be much better if it was like you and Maui, for example, right? And, like, then you're getting real opinions better than mine all the time. But I think me and Maui, and this is what I'm coming back to. Sorry, the positive comments I got for desk hosting, I for once enjoyed desk hosting because Maui is the expert, he's the analyst. But the whole time, by the way, I love how you turn to smoke and the camera
Yeah, and
still
the
follows you.
camera
So
just follows me.
it's kind of irrelevant you turning. You just may as well just bust it out if you're going to be doing that. Don't smoke unless you're very stupid and over 18, just to be clear. We'll get that, get a little message in there. Same as our snooze popping during the whole episodes each time. But yeah, the comments were so nice and people really enjoyed it. I tried to be a bit more goofy, funny, joking around because it was online. And I also, Maui would have points, but I would try and back his points up more with, like, things I had from interviews, stuff I knew from talking to players, DMing players on, like, Twitter and Instagram and talking to them a bit before. I was messaging Munacy and just getting some insight. So it was a really nice change of pace for me. But the players are all coming to land now, and I get to be the stage host and the interviewer, and everything goes back to normal. And I'm just gonna be chilling. So that's all good. That is all
In
good.
when does the actual LAN stage start?
Thursday. Thursday. They're all flying
Thursday
today, tomorrow, and then
for media
chill
and
day
stuff.
set up, and then media Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes, I'm actually doing media tomorrow. I'm doing something for Gaming Malta. Obviously Malta being a country that's supporting esports and coming into it. Gaming Malta is a big backer. They obviously built the studio with Blast here in Malta, which is awesome. It's really good fun. And studio, by the way, I've never been in it. I didn't do last season. It's really deep, really big. So we got some things planned, but I'm telling you, I'm going to go play Laser Quest tomorrow. Part of content. How is
Laser
content Laser
Quest.
Quest? Yeah, bro.
So this is just the guns and shooting
Yeah, the
lasers
laser
at
tag. I think because some of the people I'm playing with are
laser
fans. I
tag.
guess
Yeah,
they're not
that's how it's
adults.
called.
Oh, sorry. We call it in the UK. It's called Laser Quest because that's the big name of the franchise. So I just shouted out the wrong thing. But laser tag is correct. Yeah, I'm guessing we
Yeah,
can't do paintball because probably, like, if one of the fans is too young, it's not acceptable. And also, like, that would
it
just
can
get me
fucking
taken
hurt.
way too seriously. Yeah, I was hoping, I was looking forward to it. I haven't done paintball for a while. Also, paintball sucks when you're really big because even when I remember trying to hide behind things, I was getting clapped because my, like, back would be sticking out or my fucking top of my head would be sticking out. Like, yeah, it's not an enjoyable situation sometimes.
I think if you're like athletically short, it's probably the best.
Yeah.
That's probably the best you can be.
I like how you described
Um,
athletically short because you don't want to be short and stumpy. You want to be
no,
athletic and not super short, still a bit of tall so you can still run fast and not be hindered. I athletically short. I can picture
yeah,
it as you're saying it. I can actually imagine it. That's really good. All right, let's start with the news because lots of news has happened, and we got to start with the biggest one, mate. So I think this is the first time ever, if I'm correct, that we have known where we're going for the major for the next amount of years. And it is wild. Some people are going to lose their minds on this about who's been picked to run the majors. Some people are obviously going to love it. There's going to be a lot of question marks around it. I'm going to give my opinion because Valve have always said, this is known in the public knowledge, that when people are being chosen for majors, obviously they need a history of doing Counter-Strike events, needs to be in a region and a country where the time zone is good for maximum viewership. Yeah. To me, something has changed in Valve. And I think this is just my personal opinion. Shanghai was such a win, even though the time zone is bad. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it basically put life back into the Chinese scene. Chinese Counter Strike is bigger than any of the like. No Valorant is catching it. Nothing. Chinese Counter Strike is on top. It had a huge jump. So many more fans. Obviously, the fans have been so amazing in China anyway. But I feel like what Valve saw there was, wait a second, if we can work on our global strategy or the global product that is Counter Strike, the best game ever made, the best esport ever made.
yeah.
That's been running now since 1999. We have over 27 years of Counter Strike from a mod to where it is. And I think what they've done with these next selections is they've seen, okay, so we're good in Brazil, we're good in China, Europe's crushing it. America is okay, they have some problems there. So let's go a bit more South American. So to bring this out, Fire League, they actually announced it officially today. They're going to be the TO running the Buenos Aires. I need to learn to say that correctly as well. Major.
Buenos
So it's going to be the
Aires.
fire. Thank you very much. Buenos Aires. I'm gonna have to learn. So Argentinian people, bear with me. I will learn. My
I mean, I
friend
might not
Forgy,
even
who
say it correctly,
my friend
but I think
Forgy.
it's Buenos Aires.
Okay, nice. I'm not gonna try
I
anymore.
think so.
Um, my friend Forgy is the biggest streamer in Argentina. I actually went on his, he was in Cologne and I went on his stream while he was doing it. These guys got great energy. They keep a bit more like Beyond the Summit style chilling and stuff. But basically
Okay.
they said, we are very excited to host the first major in the history of our country. This is the CEO, Rodrigo Figueroa Reyes, told HLTV. Fans will be delighted to come to a city like Buenos Aires, a city that blends European and Latin America influences, where they will be surprised by the passion of Counter-Strike fans in Argentina. Now, Fire League, right? If you just, we'll do a little Liquipedia moment in here. Bear with me because
All
I am
right.
on a laptop. So I'm just opening up as an organizer because people think like they've done nothing. Now, they haven't done anything like huge. Yeah. They did a global finals. It was in Barcelona. Spirit was the winner back in there. This is 2022. They did some events where they went to like Spanish speaking countries, done some events in Brazil. Obviously, mostly they've done events in Argentina, especially 23, 24, 25. Imperial won, 90 won another. VP even went to one, you know? So like they have experience within their own region and their own world. They're not like a brand new TO, but obviously they have not done like a big tier one. Yeah, they've not done something like a Cologne or a World Final that Blast does, or Star Ladder Star Series events. And people instantly were like, "Oh no, this is going to be terrible." You got to give them some chances because Starladder didn't start off good and then it ended up doing pretty well. You know, like the playoffs was great. And for me, this is just Valve tactically saying, if we want to improve more in South America, we already conquered Brazil. Let's see what we can do over here. They've obviously got a big community. Yeah. Let's push it
Yeah.
further. Let's see that the next generation are going to watch the stars, watch the legends. Have like they would have never had this many top tier players and teams and stuff come to this country. And sure, maybe they're going to even ask for like a PGL or someone to help them out. By the way, no info on that, just an idea. Like maybe they're going to bring in, because you know how many times companies work with another partner in order to
Yeah.
make an event happen. But like, dude, we were supposed to go to Argentina for a PGL event and then it fell through. This is gonna be epic, man. I am really looking forward to it.
I
And
actually
I
I just
just
sent you a picture. Did you see
oh
this?
yeah,
This
I
is
see this.
this. the
Decent team.
trophy of
Their Fire
the
League trophy's
Buenos
lit.
Aires Fire League 2025 event. It was only 4 team
Yeah.
event. Looks a little bit like, I don't know, like maybe a studio event to some degree, but it looks pretty good. Love the trophy. Looks actually sick
They did one as well. I
compared to
think it might have
some.
been them where it was like in a train station or something at some point as well. But yeah,
But this
anyway,
is
this is big.
yeah.
The thing I want to say as well is like my personal thing is obviously Brazil crowds were amazing when I did it. If anyone at Fire League wants to give me the chance to stage host and do the interviews for your country and put me on stage with Forgy, my boy, that would be incredible. That would be so lit. And like, I don't know what the arena's gonna be like. I don't know what the weather's gonna be like. I heard they got amazing barbecue over there, but I'm not ever gonna now sit here when it comes to Counter-Strike and be negative on it because this is in my opinion, this is a business decision from Valve. This is a smart expansion move from Valve, taking Counter-Strike truly global, which is what we want, a global game, a global esport.
Yeah, I I have to agree with you. I think it's the best thing for the scene. Sucks for Europeans to some degree, but I don't think it's in an unfair remark. We've had so many majors, we have so many tournaments, so many opportunities to see these big teams, big players. So in that
Yeah.
sense, I think it's just fair that we go around in different countries. I was
By the
hoping
way,
a little bit for Astana still, but that might come
I
in
know, I know.
a later part. I think that would be super
Yeah,
cool. But that's not, to say that this isn't deserved. I think Argentina sounds really cool. I think it's good that we also kind of visit other countries in South America and not just like
yeah,
hammer Brazil all the time with
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Rio and events and etc. So in that sense, I think it's just good. And as you say, why not try to kind of embark a flame into the scene of different kind of countries and areas around the world to diversify us. I think
Yeah.
it's only good for our esports as a whole.
And by the way, so it's now 10 past midnight for us. Yeah. It's only 8,
Yeah,
10 in the evening for there. So the time difference isn't huge. If they start their games earlier in the day, like 10 a.m., it's good time zone for Europe. So this is actually pretty good.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So,
looking up Buenos Aires. The only time I've ever seen, I think, pictures from Buenos Aires is when
mhm.
literally everyone, when Argentina won the World Cup, was at this like pillar or whatever they have there, and there was like hundreds of thousands out on the street just celebrating Messi and the World Cup win. That I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
It's the only
yeah.
thing I remember.
And then from here, the second major of 2027 is going to be Perfect World and going back to Shanghai. Now, obviously, I did all of Shanghai. I basically lived in Shanghai for Perfect World when we still had like the RMRs going into the actual major itself. I'm really happy that Perfect World got another one. It's obviously another smart decision from Valve to keep growing Counter-Strike in China. One thing I beg Perfect World to do is give us a bigger arena because it was so sold out and packed out, at least on the Sunday, right? It's typical problems on the other days. But I feel like they learned so much. They put on a great event. It was an awesome showing. That if they get a bigger arena, I think there's a Mercedes-Benz arena not too far away within Shanghai, and they've got time now to book it out, then that could be whole next level. The only thing that makes me sad, and this is just a personal thing, is it could have gone to like not a Chengdu, not a Shanghai, a different city in China. But I don't know the
Yeah,
logistics. There might not be like a good point or part of that. And I guess if anyone knows best, it's Perfect World. They are a Chinese company. They are from Shanghai, like that's where their offices are. That's where they're rocking. So I can't really knock that one, but like that was in 2024. So 12, 6, so it's 3 years later and we go back to China. And then at the bottom of this news post on HLTV, these two majors, so we're going to Cologne now and then Singapore. And then Chinese TO did not want to comment, so they didn't want to announce it. And then supposedly for 2028, yeah, which by the way,
yeah,
we never know this early, have already been decided with ESL and Blast winning bids. Now, the rumors are that the ESL one was either Brazil or Melbourne. I don't think if Fire League's going to be in Argentina, they're going to go Brazil again. I think if we're in this mindset of the not caring about the time zone so
Probably
much,
Melbourne then.
Melbourne, which would be
That would be
huge for like think of this
absolutely sick.
Australian and Oceania Counter Strike is dog right now. Not about the teams or the players, but it's like not enough people playing. Teams can't get practice. Imagine what this can do, considering the crowd has already proven to be great. And how high did we rate the crowd when we were covering Melbourne all that time ago?
Yeah.
Chad will be ecstatic.
I mean, there there's few crowds that are like Australian crowds. Like there's very, very
Yeah,
few because they are so bantery, but in a funny way. Like it never really feels hostile.
it's my kind
It
of
feels
humor.
like they're making, they're making fun of themselves. They're doing the
Yeah.
shoeies and whatever. And even with B&E, I've seen like
You did Challenger,
we were
right?
at the yeah, we did Challenger, and I mean, there's not tons of people compared to like a packed arena in a tier one
Yep.
event, but the crowd there was incredible. They were doing chants for all teams. There was a lot of Chinese fans there as well, because they
Yeah,
can
easy to
travel
travel over.
pretty leniently over to Australia. So I just love I just love the crowd there, and I love the engagement you get with the fans. They're super lovely,
Yep.
and they seem to be like kind of hardcore Counter Strike fans. So whenever an event actually comes there, they just all come.
Yeah.
So I love Australia. I love that.
And you know what? With the CSL, they don't normally put me on stage. So hopefully they would put me on stage for Australia. That'd be amazing. But let's see what they do. But either
Then you
way, they
have to
got to
do a
put Chad on.
shoey.
What I 100% do. I'll do a lot more crazy stuff than that with these Aussies, man. Put me in that crowd with the Aussies. That's going to fit me to a T. They're going to understand everything. We're going to have some good banter. Probably going to hear the
Just
word
make sure
see
you
you
buy
next Tuesday
clean
every now and
shoes.
again. No, bro, I'm going to wear my dirty old ones so they can go in the bin afterwards. I'll just drink out of it that one time, get all the poison out, and then go. Just rocking all the moldy toe
All right.
jam that I've got in there. But I also think that's another one where you want to put Chad on stage in a major to have
Yeah.
some sort of intro or
100%.
something would be like fully deserved for everything he's done of flying the flag for Australia in every role and caring so much about the game, that would be beautiful for him.
Would be cool
And then
to
the
have some like now I'm just like spinning on this, but even these like old players of Australian Counter Strike to bring
oh
out the trophy could be super cool.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Some
yeah,
of the old glory
whatever.
faces of very old times. And
Yeah,
then the other one, right, obviously says Blast. Now I'm
that could
interested
literally be
because
everywhere.
but look at this, right? PGL is going to go Singapore. Technically, if you look at how this would be, Cologne will be the last one in Europe. Then you've got Singapore. Then you've got Argentina. Then you've got China. So did that make sense that then Blast goes to Europe? Or because remember, Blast not so long ago, I think it's like a year ago now, obviously got their American office. Do they try and go for another crack at America because of how successful Austin was? I'm not saying go back to Austin, but America's a huge place, bro. They can go anywhere. So it might be because Europe is, this is all just my opinion. Europe is thriving so much that they go and stick with like the other parts of the world.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. I've got no info on that. This is just me spitballing and stuff. But that's enough talk about the major. I really want to go to Argentina. I think it's going to be a great set of years now ahead of us. Like, bro, knowing the majors for 26, 27, 28. It's look at the life our game has. Look at the longevity we have. This is beautiful, man. This is exactly
And
what I
talking
want.
about Argentina,
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want to swip
we
over
have some.
to?
I thought it was a good segue. No.
That was a good segue. It wasn't the way I was going, but yeah, I'll let you host on this bit. Go on. He's
All
back.
right, so we have kind of the pain, I don't know what to call them really, but DGT and Davideos, they obviously found new homes after their stint in
Yep.
pain. DGT returns to 9C, a team that have had a lot of, I think he's Uruguayan, is he?
Yeah, he's from
DGT?
Uruguay. 9Z is from
But
Argentina.
I think the org is from Argentina. He joins Mayern
Correct.
and Luchov, etc. And we also have the other. Davideus returns to his old team in Red Canids. So he's joining
It
History, Chaos, Chow Jesus, and Drop.
it's kind of wild, right? That both players have a year on pain and then both just go back to their old teams. That's how good they are. It just didn't work within pain. So, like
Yeah,
for DGT, linking back up with 9Z and Max is going to be a very positive for him. Max has been IGL of that team, or maybe not IGL, but he's been on that team since 2020. Yeah, so 2020. And he's still there rocking it. At the moment, DGT is just on loan. Obviously, they might be just trying to see if this thing works with it all. And then for David Dias, he's back on another full Brazilian roster. I'm not gonna overhype these moves or go into huge detail about it, but I think it's just something that probably makes sense considering both these teams were better with these players and they've gained more experience and gone further than basically every other player on that team.
yeah. I mean, makes sense from everyone's perspective in this regard. So I mean, you can only wish them luck. I don't really know what to think otherwise about the movements.
Yeah, it's not
It's
much we
kind
can
of
really go
weird.
into.
The one thing I find weird is obviously in pain they talked about Davideus and DGT. They couldn't really communicate that well, or was
Yeah.
like a little bit slow. But still, Davideus is just instantly brought back to a Brazilian team.
So I'll tell you this because I got the information here: is Davideus lives in Brazil. His girlfriend is from Brazil. Yeah, so he does
Yeah.
speak it and he does understand it. But I mean, how that translates to speaking perfectly, like if I'm learning Ukrainian the whole time, I can't have the same vocabulary, the same understanding, the same quick thinking as if I'm speaking English. Like it doesn't work. My brain doesn't. My wife probably she's very good at doing that. Some people can, but obviously for
No,
what it
but
was within pain, it wasn't
it
enough.
seems like a simple fix, because learning a language fluently is one thing,
Yeah.
but learning a language within something can be easy because, like, even even if I, for example, now I was on BNE, I learned some Albanian. I still remember some Albanian. I can still speak Albanian and understand the information flow in the game
Hmm.
in CS. I cannot have a conversation at all, but I
Okay.
know what information is what. Um, and if you already know the basic of a language, it seems really, really easy to kind of just chime in, write a list.
Yeah.
What do we need to have for you to understand and say?
I'll protect Biguzera and Payne a little bit in saying that Bigu plays very fast, quick CS. Then maybe that few second difference of understanding or making a reaction wasn't good enough. Because when they used him in a different way in different
That I
roles,
can
David Deas was
understand.
brilliant at the beginning, and then he got worse and worse when they changed roles and position. You know?
Yeah,
So there's
that
that
I can
factor into it,
understand.
I would guess.
Yeah.
From Davideus and DGT, obviously, good luck to them going back onto their teams. Bait announced head trick replacement. And I saw everyone, by the way, getting real crazy about this move and saying, like, this is so stupid. This doesn't make any sense. Because Segukawa, by the way, Eastern European guys, I love anime, but you guys got to work on some better nicknames. I'm going to tell you this now. Because you got to think when people are commentating your name, Segukawa, I'm just going to call you Segu at this point or Kawa because it's not going
But
to flow
the
nicely for the
one,
commentary, bro.
I mean, you can still understand the reactions. This is a 16-year-old player who joined their
Mhm.
academy team in October last year, and he has not a single game on HLTV reported.
True. I get it.
So I can understand the reactions, but obviously I don't know. There's really no way to find out how good this guy is without asking people's opinions. There's
Yeah,
no stats. There's nothing we can really go from.
but look at this.
Obviously that
Bait
they
don't even
believe him.
have their academy team listed on HLTV because they're only playing like ESCA regular season advanced, yeah, which is not that high up
Yeah.
realistically. They're not going to be getting into games that are listed on put on HLTV. They're not attending lands because they don't want the team to compete like a Navi situation where one team gets so far up the rankings and they can't both enter the major. It seems to be like that maybe they're doing their academy a different way. What I did was just check around what people were saying about him, yeah. I
Yeah.
found his Facebook profile as well. He seems to be staying in Finland at the moment, or he's just got a Finnish flag. I don't know what that's about. Um, in general, 3.5k elo at the moment was 3.6 quite recently, so not bad. Yeah, It's not great, but it's not bad. When I say not great, he's not up there with the 4K megastars, that people are often looking at. Um, Supposed to be really like non-toxic, really positive. Yeah. I say that loosely considering he's playing Face It all the time, but people said he has like good vibe, good energy. I think they are looking for this star AWPer, and you have to pick from Ukrainian talent because Bait is only looking at Ukrainians, right? Can't get a Kazakh, can't get a Russian, don't want to be talking Russian. There's a politics involved with his team. So they at least are hedging their bets that he can give them what they need over Hedrick, who had some inconsistencies. The problem I still have is that you told Hedrick just a few days before the season started, which meant he had no chance of going anywhere else. And that's
But
the
isn't
bullshit.
this like the slap in the face for Hetrick? Like the ultimate
Yeah.
slap in the face. Not only are you getting replaced, shockingly, like for him, but you're getting replaced by someone nobody knows who it is. He
Yeah. I
probably
had to do
doesn't even know
digging.
who it is.
No, he will know. He definitely will know. Within their circles, people are talking about this guy. That's one thing I got. It wasn't unknown. So like I understand your point, but I had to deep find this by talking to other Ukrainian people
Yeah.
and people that play within like CIS speaking. Yeah. He is a known factor, at least of a name. He is a faceless name, that's for sure, but he's not a bot. No one had
No,
bad words to say about him.
I don't believe that he is a bot, but there's been plenty of players that people have hyped up to be incredibly good. I mean,
Yeah.
I just saw a recent Twitter post. I don't know why I will. It's not meant to dunk on him, but for example, like Doc, when he came into the scene, he tried to play professionally for a while, but it just didn't work the
Yeah.
same way for him.
He was just an
It doesn't
FPL guy.
translate the same. It's the same with a lot of people who play Faces. You can't just strafe mid on Mirage every single round and expect it to work in a pro game. You have to learn to play slow because these players are so much better that they're going to punish
Yeah.
simple tricks like that.
I'll say
So
I'm not sold
exciting
on
to
it
see.
until we see him in a team environment. But obviously, if they're using their academy in the right way, there should be something that he can slot into. There
Yep.
should be something that can be worked with here. And if not, then they've wasted their own 6 months before the next season and how it will go. But I just think the most disappointing thing from Bait here is how they treated Hedrick during this. Because
What do you
this
think
that's
Hetrick
to me
should
it doesn't
do?
sit right. Oh,
Honestly,
I DM'd him.
I
I
think
DM'd him. I'll tell you. Oh.
I think before you say, I think he should actually drop the op and just become a rifler.
Ooh.
I think he's a better rifler than Oper.
Did you know that also he was a rifler and only picked up the AWP because Manasi left the team for Navi Junior? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't go that route with him. He can be whatever role he wants. He knows better idea on that. I just said to him, take now a little bit more time to chill because you might not get this opportunity again. You're still very young in your career. And then just grind the face it, grind the streams, put yourself out there, show you're like a respectable player. Like you just now have to wait this out. Yeah. But I don't know the length of his contract. That's the other thing. We don't know what like this.
Yeah.
They never posted he's some re-signing or anything like that. So if he's locked in, that's going to be really bad as well. Because the problem is, how old is Hedrick? Let's look at this. I know he's not old, but
21.
21. So he's not old, but people are looking at these young crazy talents coming up all the time. He's got experience under his belt. He's done the NIP stint. He came from Navi Junior, but I just think his struggles he helped Bait level up and he had so many impactful moments, but he definitely was not a good AWPer against the top elite teams. Like when there was an AWPer difference, that's when you'd see him struggle a bit. That's
Yeah.
when he came undone.
I agree. I think he's the kind of guy that would be good as a rifler and a second AWPer. Like just pick it up every once in a while when you feel it, but maybe not go for it full time. Because he can have good rounds, but I feel like when he doesn't have the idea, that's when he struggles. When he
Okay.
doesn't know what to go for, which is the hard part about being a main AWPer.
Yeah.
Is you always have to do something and find impact somehow.
Yeah. The other bit of roster move in here, we're moving still towards CIS. Nafani, Axel, and Groove reunite in a new team. The Gambit youngsters core, if you're going to include the coach, are together again. This I didn't expect. Honestly, I wasn't even sure what would happen with Nafani and Axel, like career trajectory or where they'd go. Because obviously a lot has happened for them from Bet Boom times onwards. Axel had a huge drop off coming into CS2, like he was not the same player. You know, he was so good at just holding angles, great positioning, winning the fights, great dueling with a rifle. Came into CS2 and the swing mode wasn't working for him. Like the amount of bad performances I saw from Axel made me sad, considering I know how good he could be. You even played against the
No, I
Gambit
agree.
youngsters back at that We Play event in when you were Godsend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, God,
We played we beat them in, wasn't the finals, but we probably beat them in the semi-final. We play. Let me check.
I remember because my son was there.
Was it
He
Forge of
picked.
Masters
He was
2?
picking teams. Yeah, Forge Master 2.
Yeah, we beat
We all
them.
dressed up like trained people.
Godsend 2-0 in the semi-finals. 16-9 on Dust 2 and 16-7 on Overpass.
Did you win that event?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
We tricked in the final with Bubsky, Roy, Shush, Acre, and Hund.
Back in 2019. A long time ago now. So Nafani, another chance to IGL, working with Groove. I think this is the thing that maybe has a small chance. I'm not going to put much stock in it, but there's a small chance that him working with Groove again, who is very highly respected within the CIS region as a coach, could work in his favor to bring his stocks back up. Axel has a chance for redemption depending on how much he wants to grind and do this. Zorte, by the way, he's 27 now and he's still like, he's never broke through, but he did an interview with Foreign yet. I haven't watched it, but it's definitely worth checking out if you're interested in the player because he's had such an interesting career. Then you've got Xanta that came from the Mega. I think he was just a good role player, like nothing stand off the page or too amazing.
Player,
yeah. And Sugar, a player from Azerbaijan. Now, I know I got my friend Mochi plays very high elo in Azerbaijan, quite like he's in that scene. I'm not like this guy's 26 and I never heard of him until now. So I don't know what to make of it, but they're all contracted to other teams, all of them, but they've been allowed to just play into this for now. So let's see what happens. I'm just trusted in all of this. I just believe in Groove. Groove is the one I'm sitting on. Coach Groove to make it work.
I mean, it's obviously a combination that's worked in the past with Nafani and Groove, so that's the good part about it. So let's see what happens. But it's as you say. I mean, they kind of hold the cards of proving everyone wrong or whatever at the moment.
Yep.
They don't really have that high stocks.
No, not at all. All right, and from our recent news, let's go into a Blast Bounty online review. Obviously, this is the season 1 of 2026 Blast Bounty, taking place in Malta. Started with 32 teams. We covered a lot of it. We'll just start by going through our opening predictions of the matchups. So the first matchup was OG FUT, or Foot, whatever you want to call them. I picked Foot, you picked OG. Foot, by the way, super impressive. Eyeballers versus FaZe. You went in on Eyeballers, and I'll give you a clap for that, man. That was solid. That was solid. You called that well. And FaZe online struggles. We'll get into that. We'll start talking about FaZe in a little bit. Devilwalk went for Fnatic. I went for Astralis. Oh no, we both went for Fnatic. Oh. Well, we both went for Fnatic. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what was wrong with us at that point. That Ryu kid, by the way, very interesting player. Definitely, he's sharp. He's one to look at. We both went for Passion UA and GamerLegion 1. So Snacks is a genius. Could also play darts really well. I went for Friendly Campers purely because Friendly Campers had a cool logo. That was a bit stupid. Heroic one. Heroic are through to the LAN finals. Monty versus Na'Vi. We both went Na'Vi. British player Monty Gizme, bro, he schooled them. This team schooled them.
Jack von Spreckelsen, the British player.
It's the least British name I've ever heard, unless he's like rolling in money somewhere.
Jack is British.
Yeah, Jack is British, but von Spreckelsen sounds like Netherlands or something.
Dutch. Yeah.
Dutch, yeah, that's it. And it made me laugh because I'm thinking, it just sounds like this is just in my own little mindset of craziness. He's like, his parents own a castle somewhere. That's some kind of shit I see. You know, like he's von Spreckelson. That's
It's a
crazy. That's
kind
he
of a
was great to
crazy
talk to.
lineup, Monty.
Dude, BMAS still. By the way, BMAS was another player when I spoke to him on the interview before we started recording. And I was like, dude, I've spoke to you since you were 16 now. You're only 22, but I feel like you should be 25. Like, time's going by so fast, man. He's had a crazy career as well, man. People don't realize like he's gone from FaZe to
Dem
Mouse, then to
he
Into the
went from
Breach.
Demolition Crew to FaZe
Yeah.
to Mouse to Into the Breach and Monte.
And only played at one major, by the way. That's what I feel sad for him. With all that career, still only one major to his name. But yeah, this lineup is Azuru's got some flaws. Yeah. Afro's
Yeah.
still hit and miss to me, even though he's got more experience. BMAS, Gizmy, and Rainwaker, I'm kind of sold on being pretty solid, even though Rainwaker's not like on the team. But bro, that win against Navi, 2 close opening maps into the Dust 2 dominance, just good calling, good prep. BMAS told me, by the way, that gives me basically hard preps things, even to the point of like we're anti-strat prepping for hours, like every little
Oh wow.
detail. And they basically said they knew every move that Navi was going to make. It was crazy.
The one silver lining, I guess, is Bit being on top of the scoreboard again after having a little bit of a rough major, I guess.
It's online and in a loss, but yeah, sure, we can take that as a small positive in this horrible situation for Navi.
Yeah.
Virtus Pro Vitality, we both went Vitality, so you were correct there. Gentlemates M80, you went M80. I said Gentlemates because of the jet lag. Guess what? I was right. Inner Circle 3D Max, I went Inner Circle, you went 3D Max. I got that correct. We both went for NIP. We obviously threw no stock into Liquid for somehow. Nip were okay, but they were not great. It was not pretty.
Elish was great. I mean, honestly, it's not even a bad prediction from us. Elish, what, he aced twice on Ancient?
Once with a UMP.
Yeah. So, I mean, losing 16-13 in a map where the opposing team aces, one player aces you twice, I think it's pretty decent prediction. I will defend my prediction. I think Elish was
Okay.
the difference maker here.
Massively. Then Ecstatic Falcons, we both said Falcons, we won. Ents Paravision, we both said Paravision, we won. Sinner Spirit, we both said Spirit, we won. Bet Boom Pain, we both said Pain, we won. 9 Furia, we both said Furia, we won. So 10 correct for me, 9 for you out of 16 games. Not great for the opening part of the season, but it is the opening part of the season. I'll give myself a little bit of leeway with that, you know. I'm not gonna complain too much about it. Let's get into some of the teams though that were taking part and just the results they had there. Should we start with FaZe's disappointment?
I mean, sure.
Because FaZe went out, right? And I know, by the way, I appreciate Twist came on to give us the interview. They went up against an Eyeballers, and in the first map, Eyeballers didn't play the way that you, by the way, you told me about this, didn't you? Eyeballers, more aggressive, very in your face Counter Strike, playing off their individuals. They didn't play like that on Ancient. FaZe also didn't give them any chance. Like FaZe were fighting them, shutting them down at every corner, every chance. And like even Carrigan was like ego swinging on him, and he was owning. It was 13-6 scoreline. I thought, okay, Eyeballs might be screwed here. The Mirage afterwards, the 10-2 first half, Eyeballers, and JW said it to us on the interview. He said, we just played how we were supposed to play, you know? And they weren't scared, and they were like more plucky with their performance. They were more confident. And I don't think FaZe has an excuse in this, because it's like you already played the right way against Eyeballers, and then when they played their way, you weren't ready for it. Like that to me is not a team who I just saw in the major finals. And I don't care that it's online and you're going to say anything else, because it's rough. It's against the Eyeballers.
But
You
they are
saw it
not
coming,
bad.
so you must guess more.
Like they are like, even though Swedish Counter Strike has been absolute rock bottom for plenty of years now.
Yeah.
I went to the Swedish Cup. I watched these teams play against each other. I saw them, and analyzed them, and it felt like these are still teams that can beat top teams. Like it felt like it was a level up from what I've seen in the past before. And for
Okay.
me, I mentioned someone like Bob XT. I think that he is the type of player that can definitely play in the highest of levels of Counter Strike. I think he's incredible. I think he's sneaky, aggressive, but like he has that little extra edge to him. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering what you thought of a player like that when you watched him play, because I think he's incredible as a player.
Me and Maui were singing his praises on both games, even the game they got eliminated on, because he's got a good eye for it. Maybe he's a bit too pushing forward at times, especially against this level of teams. But against FaZe, it was working every time. So you know what, you're not going to complain about that.
Yeah,
I think he's a player where he was on 9 before Eyeballers picked him up, and they fumbled that because 9 is ahead of Eyeballers on the rankings. Despite all their roster changes, they obviously were not using the right way if they were not happy, because from the eye test, the talent is there. Maxter, by the way, pleasant surprise after not seeing him since
NIP.
NIP and yeah, NIP Junior days, whatever they called it, NIP Academy.
He
Yeah,
was
dude,
in the normal NIP, I think.
yeah, but that was back when even like it was Alex leading him as an IGL from Gentlemates now, and he wasn't ready for tier one calling
Yeah,
at the
that's
time
true.
with like an international team. So I give him a pass on that. But like Maxter, very sharp, confident multi killer. Couple of
They
rounds
got a
today
solid
was just
team,
like
eyeballers.
they're not as high up on my expectations as FUT or FUT, how we'll talk about later. Um, but I will say I'm now aware of what eyeballers might be able to do. But we need to come back on the FaZe because we're missing what we're saying
Oh yeah,
here.
yeah.
Um, FaZe was a disappointment, and even if they just say it's online, blah blah blah, I'm already nervous just the fact that this happened of where they will go at future events, because maybe this magic run that happened at the major, this is now a team that can't just have magic runs at a major. FaZe need to have runs in many different locations and be title contenders. That's what they're here for. That's the FaZe DNA. Yeah.
Yeah, the weird part about FaZe, it feels like sorry. It feels like maybe they can't wake up and be motivated for these like online games or whatever to the same spirit. Maybe they need an audience to kind of kickstart themselves, to feel that adrenaline, to enjoy the game to the extent that they need to. But at the same time, it's kind of a
Mm.
cop off. Like it's not a valid point, because more often than not in the past year they have
Yep.
looked disappointing.
Yep.
um and it's down to a lot of things. They look lackluster, they look unsynced. It's almost like Kerrigan has to almost pick the perfect call and trick the opposition to a degree for them to win rounds, which is usually
Yep.
something you do when you're the worst teams. Like you have to trick them. You can't play standard. And that's not a position that FaZe has been in for a very long time. And Kerrigan can't just pull magic out of a hat consistently throughout a game. He's the kind of guy like when it comes to the important rounds, he will pull it out and secure his team the victory. But it
Mm.
feels like right now it's a little bit too much weight on an IGL, where before they were the ones defaulting, putting pressure, just finding things, or like almost letting
Yeah.
the play or the round play out itself by the individuals, and then just make an end call. Now, yeah, I don't know what to say really.
But the thing is, right?
I
I
understand it's
I can
early in the
agree with you.
season.
Yeah, but I can agree with you on like maybe not so motivated. But now all of these players, even with what they've won, They had such a bad year last year. Twist even on Liquid had a bad year. Yeah. Coming back over to FaZe, they should be motivated. They should be motivated for every game. I don't
Yeah,
care
but
how long you've had in it.
I look at it almost like old teams that I've had where, there's so many issues that it's apparent that
Mm-hmm.
there's so many cracks in this team, like not only in the server, but it feels like on a personal level as well, like how they're working together just doesn't work. That's almost like when you're in such a broken team, players take breaks. They remove themselves from the PC environment. They remove themselves from CS because they need to, like, I don't know, decompress is the word.
Decompress, yeah.
Um, and and what happens then is, like, every other team that feels are in a good place, they stay by the PC, they look at strats, they look at demos, they evolve themselves constantly, while these a team like FaZe almost decompresses. This is my guesswork on what's happening, but this is
Mm,
how it looks to me. There's cracks, they need to decompress, therefore they don't put them in as many hours and everyone else, and they're just falling further and further behind and trying to problem solve because they think that they should be better, which is true, but they need to
yeah.
put the work in to be there.
I'll give them to a Krakow. I can't give them too much more. I'll give them to a Krakow and see what they can do there. I think that's it for me.
They
Um,
they will be better, but they
yeah.
will not be as good as people think. I think they will drop down to like a top 12, 13.
Okay. Plenty of other teams in here to talk about a bit. For Fnatic, OG, Hollow. Remember, this is single elimination, so going over every single team probably is not worth it.
Yeah.
Ninjas in Pajamas, I think, was disappointing considering the matchup they had. They got to play against Liquid in the opening game. They've got Ken, their new player, coming in. They picked Nuke, and Snappy was almost too stubborn, it felt like. And he might watch this and say, like, I'm completely wrong, which is fine. But he was just a lot of A site hits, a lot of, like, it wasn't as good as their Nuke we saw. And maybe that's just one player change coming
I mean,
in.
that's how they
But I'm not
played
going to
Nuke.
blame Ken for that.
I'll just say
What,
it.
even before?
This is They have always played Nuke in the way of they I didn't even watch this game, but tell me if I'm right. They pretty much do outside yard smokes, go 5 lobby, and just
Mm-hmm.
execute inner. Or they do 5 yard smokes, go ramp, or they do 5 yard smokes or yard smokes and 5 yard.
It's a lot of that, but less yard work.
Yeah, but
Less,
but the
less
early
yard.
game, it's pretty much always pops ramp or inner.
Mm,
First like 5 6 rounds, pretty much every time I've seen them play Nuke, and to me, it's it's one of these things where if if it goes well, you look like a genius, but if it goes
yeah,
badly and you can't really get those rounds, you never get the economy up, you never really let your players either play the game. It's almost like they're just running W and trying to get the instant flick on someone through nades and mollies and flashes and smokes. And they don't really get to play the game. They maybe have a 1 second window where they play the game and then the rest is just retake simulator.
yeah, yeah. Um, then Mirage was very positive from them. I
Yeah.
liked where they put Ken. He looked very comfortable. Snappy was having a crazy life game. I'm not going to count on that as a regular thing, but it's just everyone can perform well when you're owning like that. And then the Ancient, it was winnable. It was definitely winnable. But obviously, the aces happened. It was some really good CT size coming out from Liquid. It was this was like in Nip's hand to win, you know?
Yeah.
And as always, the same as at the major, they get to overtime and they can't pull it over a line. Like
Yeah.
they had a string of T rounds, and I thought like they would close it out. I felt like they had it. They'd done everything to have Liquid in and destroyed. Obviously, running into that UMP is definitely not good for you. And on top of that, at least made a bank of money to help CT economy at the same time. Um, so I'm not going to say this is bad from NIP. I just say it's like the worst timing for them with a new player to then have this loss straight away. But it is only online, so it's not the end of the world. Um,
Anything you
Out of
want
the
to
teams that went
talk
17 to
about
32,
Liquid?
yeah, we'll get there. I'm going up the rankings at the moment.
Okay.
So that's of our 17 to 32. I think that's fine. I don't really care about too many of the others of what they have to show or what's going on. M80 gets a pass because they traveled from America, probably had one day in Europe and then had to play. That's fine for me. Not against that. We can touch on Aurora because Aurora Soulfly, the first game was really troublesome. They looked like they were going to lose it against Hotu. And luckily, they got a good excuse. Soulfly was still playing from home, wasn't on boot camp with the players, had a bad PC and bad ping. I can see he had bad ping, so that's a fact. He looked better against GamerLegion, but I'll say this. Madja said on the interview to me, and you know I love Madja. I'm a big fan of Aurora in general.
Yeah.
Last year, some of his team were not believing in their T cycles. He couldn't get things going. He thinks having Soulfly is going to fix this. But there is still too many rounds where there's no lurk, 4 or 5 players grouped up together, going into a site, getting mowed down. It's too much relying on an all or nothing. And maybe he needs some more time to change that. But it's been a long time we've seen this.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't pick into Anubis.
Yeah, we literally said both games we thought they'd play Anubis.
I mean, second game I understand why, because GamerLegion insta removed Anubis, but against Hotu it
Okay,
was
so it's a
open
ban.
for pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Against
Norbert
Hotu
also
it
said
was
he
open.
expected them to play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Norbert said for Hotu
They-
that he expected it.
They were legit the best Anubis team in the world. Like,
Yeah.
they could even take a map off of Vitality at times when Anubis was
Definitely.
in the book, you know. Like,
That was
it
a go-to.
was. Yeah, I'm weirded out by it because they were so good on it, and it's not like
Yeah.
Soulfly all of a sudden comes in that you can't really run the strats.
Yeah. They said they want to use him a bit more of like going in first and Zontaras trading off the back of him as well on T sides. And then he's happy to play the anchor position, is what he told me on the interview. I think with more time, I'm not really worried about him. I just feel like they should have at least made it through this online stage personally. We can do a small bit on Astralis. I don't want to get too much into it. I think this Astralis is going to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
They beat Fnatic, yeah. Fair enough. Wasn't the greatest of games. Ryu did have some really nice moments. I really like what I'm seeing from Ryu. And by the way, anyone who calls him Ryu, please go and watch Street Fighter. It has always been Ryu. We're not doing this with such an easy nickname where people go, it's Ryu, it's Ryu, it's Ryu. I don't know whatever the hell people are going to do. It's Ryu. That's it. There's no debate on this name.
Ryosuke.
Whatever. You can shut the hell up. I'm not getting involved with stupid conversation with you. But Astralis today against Paravision, I watched the full game, were dog. And it's not about the 13-1. I'm ignoring the 13-1 Dust 2. This Ancient was, even when they had chances, they just had bad timings. They weren't aware of some of the things that Paravision were going to do. No one stepped up. Everyone seemed completely lost at times. There was one round where Jabby jumps over the guy who was on ramp and another guy shooting from afar. Like, it was so messy. It was like they were scrambling panic mode in there.
Like, it's so amazing to see Paravision play Counter-Strike because it's like everyone should know what the fuck they're doing, which is literally nothing.
Yeah.
And then they do everything. And people can't really figure out the timings. Like, Jame is a genius for that. He always gets people caught off guard. Like, no matter who he plays, it doesn't matter who they play. They play some of the best teams, at the major. They made it close.
Yep.
They were fighting with some of them. And they could still find these weird timings where players were unaware of what's going to happen.
Do you want my theory?
Absolutely.
My theory on these timings?
Absolutely love it.
I have a theory that James' brain is lagged. So he has the timings, like the perfect timings, but he just calls it so slowly in like a lagged way on purpose, but he doesn't know he's doing it because it looks effortless. When I look at his camera, he's never stressed about this. He's just talking. He's very calm. Yeah. And then because of that lag he creates, his players don't even know about the timings that are off timing. He's just all in the mix of it. He creates this aura of confusing moments for everyone. I watched a almost full Glock round, beat them, yeah, T-side, Astralis, all util mid, all util ramp, yeah? Okay, admittedly, Jame will play a bit faster these days, yeah? We see some of this.
Yeah.
But guess what? He's on eco. So what's he doing? 5 players were elbow where no utility could hit them, yeah? All just chilling. Then some of them walked towards B a little bit. Then they came out late timing on summer. And dude, they were even Astralis on the site. They weren't even fishing for information. So I got a throat sweeting because my throat is cooked a little bit. They weren't even
But you know
fishing for
why?
information, and they still
Like-
walked into it and died.
Yeah, but it's the thing that, like, let's take Dust 2 as an example for Paravision. Like, I'm just gonna
Classic
explain a
Jame.
thing, a thing that Jame uses. Like, if they take long, they will never just rush long. He takes long, leaves a guy there, you know, or 2 guys there, just waiting. They either wait for them to retake it, where they punish, or they wait for just the moment that they could execute B. And that's, you know, by just delivering that timing, you know, they have long, but then 25 seconds gone, they have long is completely useful information. So they always give information, they make it completely useless before they use it. Because everyone gets scared. Okay, why the fuck aren't they doing anything if they have this? They have this and this. Why are they not doing anything? And it
Where's the
ends up
pressure?
you're like, you get so insecure that you, like, a natural thing for CS players just push for information. And they're so ready for it. They know they're gonna push for information. And they just punish it. And that's where they find gaps. They find, like, it's beautiful Counter-Strike to watch. If you know what to watch for, because it looks boring and dry and, like, to some degree, like,
okay, but if you know this, let me just ask you this. Rugger, I got respect for you, but if you're explaining this, what is Rugger doing that the team and him and Hooksy have not worked out what's going on?
I think, I mean, I can't say that, you know, the thing, okay, before, every time I would play some, like, Jame or Virtus Pro or whatever, which was back in the day, our rule was we never throw early utility, but we stand in flash setups. So always have a flash ready, because they can lurk, they can peek, they can do that kind of thing, but you just jiggle it and you keep your utility defensively, because they're not going to overcommit, like, almost never. And then when the round gets close, right, you need mollos on each side at 20 seconds to stop them. That was the rule. If both sides have a mollo at 20 seconds, you win the round. So just play flashes, even if it would be banana on B. You just play flashes, flash setups. If he comes in, flash setup, and just never get overeager. Easy to counter if they speed up, but you still have a chance. And the slow rounds, you would essentially, I mean, you have to play out of your comfort zone. You can't really play like that versus anyone else. It has to be a counterplay to this very, very slow style. Let them execute, let them come into sites, because they're so good at punishing you when you're aggressive.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's impressive. But to talk about Astralis, it was a weak showing. Not too much positive to talk about with them. 1 win, 1 loss, they're out of it. The next, I think the last team we'll talk about on the 9th to 16th is FUT, ex-Navi Junior.
Yeah.
They lose Makazi. They get Lounx in. Dude, they nearly beat Furia. That's why we were so late starting this podcast. They lose 13-10 on Anubis. Krabeni was telling me afterwards in the X interview, they were feeling the pressure. They beat Furia 13-5 with a 10-2 CT side on Overpass. And this was Furia's best map of 2025. Then there was no chance. No chance.
Yeah.
Molodoy was the only positive player for the whole game for Furia.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Obviously, technically, because the other 2 maps were so close, FUT did win more rounds, you know, overall, which is why the ratings are skewed like that. But I mean, both on Anubis, Molodoy was farming. He's waiting for other players to catch up. Dust 2, Molodoy was farming. Then eventually some other players like Yakinda and Quesararo came alive. But it was like really lackluster. Like, if anyone else had a slightly worse performance, Fury are losing that game. It was so close.
It must have been some. I didn't watch it, but you have 3 win pistol break 3. They had pretty good CT side as well.
Good start to the CT, yeah. Good
They
start to the
lost it
CT.
here. I see. They had a strong lead with pistol T side, and the comeback comes.
Yeah. But honestly, this is my team. I said they would make it to the finals. So close to beating Furia. This is the team up. They will make it to stage 2 of Krakow. As long as they don't get Langis or some crazy nerves, this is a legit team. Leveling up, 2 of the players on the team are 20. That's the oldest players they have on the team. Coolio coaching them, got a good history of Counter-Strike. Maybe not the highest level, but he knows game. And they've worked together with this unit, growing up together and making it. I'm
It's
crazy
kind of
positive about these
crazy.
guys.
They're Valve ranking 15.
Yep. You see?
Wow.
I'm going to close my window quickly.
I mean, I've seen them play. We obviously saw them in even the Star Ladder Star Series 19 qualifier, which they
Oh,
were a
you
little
covered
bit
that?
Yep, I covered that, so I've seen them play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Demon obviously impressed. They didn't have longs back then. They had Misuta, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, seems like with longs they've gotten a little bit more X factor into the team.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Bit more experience
interesting
as well,
team.
bro. Long said to me, yeah, that he made so many mistakes in his early part of his career, and some things about outside the game stuff as well, not going parties. He said this live on an interview, by the way, and I don't know why people don't pick up on this, just because maybe he's not a big name. 20 years old, and he's saying, I don't want to party, want to focus on the right things. And he's telling this to his younger teammates. So they all have this big grind mindset to focus on the game, to make the most of this opportunity. And guess what? Like you just said, they're top 15 in the world right now. They are breaking through. This is the next team to blow. This is huge. And by the way, from what I heard, FUT have like good money behind them.
Yeah.
And also they won Draculan Season 3. They've been grinding.
They've been
Second
grinding.
at the DreamHack Knockout Stockholm as well. They've been showing it. They've been showing it. This is the team to watch this year.
Average age of 19.1.
See? And by the way, another story. Demon used to be obviously Navi Junior, like the rest of these guys. He was on the Navi Junior, like the young one, even before the junior. So there's like 3 sections of Navi Junior as it was.
All right.
Main roster, Navi Junior, the Navi Youth, I think it was called. Army, who's the head of esports, he brought Demon to, I think it was maybe Antwerp Major, and introduced us and showed us to him and said, this player is going to be one to watch for the future. At the time, I wasn't even too sure. I'm like, you're bringing a 14-year-old kid to me or 15-year-old kid to me. I didn't know what it was going to be. You know, I was like, you're just hyping up the Ukrainian kid, you know? That's how I saw it. But I'll say this, he looks damn good. He's the weakest link they have right now, at least within this level of what we saw, was this Symmetry guy, the other Ukrainian. But I think it was just a pressure thing Krabeni was saying. And by the way, Krabeni is IGL fragging as well. So I'm very positive about this team right now. I said I thought they would be the dark horse. You know, I picked them to make it through to the finals, and they got so close in a really impressive way.
That's sick. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
hats off to them.
Really positive.
They seem really consistent
Definitely.
as well. This kind of reminds me a little bit about the Gambit youngsters. When I look at, just scroll through their results on HLTV, super consistent, beating some of the top teams. I mean, even looking back at October in obviously CS Asia, they beat FaZe, they beat Pain, they beat FaZe twice even. So there's definitely like, yeah. I'm looking through this and it looks really, really good. Yeah.
Smart they went to Dragonland to jump up the points as well and get that win. That was huge.
Yeah.
The other quick team I need to touch on is 3D Max. Eliminated by Inner Circle. Inner Circle's not bad, but they lost like one of their key players, Ken, to NIP. Captain Kirker comes in, who's obviously, we've already seen Captain Kirker before on other rosters. He was okay, but he actually looked pretty good within this. 3D Max losing here. Maybe explain this to me. We don't often see 3D Max on boot camp. They boot camp start of the year, and they all went home to not boot camp for when they played online last bounty. I don't get it. Surely you just stay on boot camp and play together. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of these. I mean, if you look at the last 3 months for 3D Max, they have less than 30% win rate. It's looking like really bad. Maybe they've got them figured out. They have a little bit of a unique style, very execute heavy, very poppy. That can surprise people. How was their T sides actually? 5, 6, 5, 4.
Do you think this gravity
5,
change
6,
is coming
4.
undone on the T sides? We're not really
I
blaming
mean,
them.
it's no, but let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have. It's the same problem we keep rehashing every single time we talk about 3D Max. They are 5 individual players. They're a group of players which Maka sometimes pops off as a star player, but they don't have a star player. It's occasional
Yeah.
performances. It's almost like it's 5 role players put into one team.
But do you remember last year there was a moment where we said like they can break through?
Yeah.
They had the chance to break through, and then now Maka's not IGL. This was still when Maka was IGL, and now he's not IGL. Now Gravity is. Things have changed. Like they changed coach as well.
But Maka is not getting unleashed by that. He still has the occasional performance where he is popping off, he's carrying the entire game, but it's way too inconsistent. And I mean,
Yeah.
the only reason they got a map was because Maka had one of those performances on Nuke. Because Inner Circle it went to overtime on Nuke. Inner Circle won Ancient 13-9. They brought it to overtime on 16-13 3D Max on Nuke. And then lost 13-6. So it's not a convincing performance from 3D Max to pick up their map pick in overtime with a Maka popping off performance with 33 kills and 19 deaths, 149 rating. It's I don't know. It looks like a French shuffle. Like this team is not going to hold the entire season.
I'm glad you said that. That's my thoughts exactly. All right, let's move into the top 8 teams and move into what's happening in the LAN final. So the rest of the teams in here. Oh, I'll just say this as a last thing. This Blast Bounty did get more exciting with upsets. Obviously, like we mentioned before, there's no of this bounty like where you wager it. We got some fun elements that are coming to the live show at the LAN finals, which is going to be great. The 8 teams we got are Vitality, Furia, Falcons, Spirit, Liquid, Paravision, GamerLegion, Heroic, which proves how these upsets and stuff worked. We both said Vitality, Furia, Falcons, Na'Vi. So already we lost the Na'Vi. Then we both said Spirit. Yep. But then we both said Aurora, which we didn't get. You said Nip. I said Pain, which I didn't get.
I changed the
Foot.
document.
Okay, well, I said Foot, which I didn't get. I thought Foot was a dark horse, and you got FaZe, and you didn't get that either. So both of us got 4 correct, 4 not correct. Aurora,
everyone
Na'Vi,
would get this 4 correct.
Yeah, the 4 obvious ones were there, even with Magic's IGLing. Nothing changed so much.
I'm disappointed in myself I didn't say Paravision now that I see them here.
Mm-hmm. You didn't
the
believe.
The rest I would never have gotten. Never.
Well, let's go to this, right? Because winners of the event, we did last episode, I said Falcons, and you said Spirit. You can make a good case that Spirit's still going to win. Bro, Falcons now, Kyosuke's gone. He hasn't got a visa.
But they got Nucleons.
Great. Great, man. That's exactly what I want to see. Another North Macedonian player, but he's not Kyosuke.
Will Sonic be there?
Yeah, I think so. Why did you say Sonic not there?
didn't his brother died?
How did you get this information?
So he wasn't a part of the matches. He went home because his
Oh
brother
shit!
passed.
I just saw the tweet.
Yeah.
I just saw the tweet. Oh my god! After our game versus Stack, I learned that my brother suddenly passed away. I've flown home to be with my family. Oh, bro, he lost his mum, and then, oh my god, I
Yeah.
didn't see this. I didn't see this at all. After the game, I don't really check Twitter and stuff that much.
I didn't
Oh,
really
that
want
explains
to
why I wasn't there.
push this
Jesus.
into.
Yeah, no, it's just sad, isn't it? Fuck,
Yeah.
man. I'm really sorry for Zonic and his family. Well, that's,
Yeah.
you know what, that's completely understandable. So he said, I'll try to be back as soon as I can. So there's no guarantees he's going to make it. So Kioski and Zonic potentially out then.
Yeah.
And they got a new assistant coach, Eamon Stein. By the way, he's to turn this to try and turn to a more positive thing.
Yeah.
G2 let him go. And I think for Falcons, this is a big pickup. Everyone on G2 that I spoke with thought he was a really good pickup. What was strange in G2 was that Saul brought over Sunde, I think it is, a Norwegian guy. Need to double check on Wikipedia. From G2 with him, or even from Heroic with him, if I'm correct. Let me look. Is he listed? So Saul. Yep.
Is this the Danish guy?
Is it a Danish guy? Where are you seeing this?
Well, it depends how you. He used to be a player in 1.6.
Could have been. Oh no, it's just another. Not that one. Not
okay.
a legendary old.
It's not. Yeah. I was like,
let me check.
He's an analyst?
No. There was a guy who used to work for Heroic, and then he was working for he followed Saw, yeah? Stayed with it, and it seems like Saw brought him across. He's not listed here, which is strange. Definitely, anyway, it might be the Swedish guy. Shedden the Swedish guy.
Yeah, Sheddan, I know.
Sheddan, yeah, there you go. So that was it. He was on Heroic assistant coach, and now he's assistant coach. So I guess they didn't want Amenstein anymore. But Amenstein, I only heard positive things. I'm guessing this is a Saw thing, like them working together, having history. But yeah, this is a real positive move for Falcons to have Amenstein. 100%. He worked with Nico and Munacy before. He knows what they like. By the way, I know this is going to be a very weird thing, but I've never seen this guy not have a good mood for his team. He's got the vibes check. 100%. I like him a lot.
All right. It's going to be interesting.
He's doing good work. I'm just going off what players say, right? But normally players either don't talk about analysts and assistant coaches or stuff, just about talk about coaches, or they say something. And if they're saying something, that to me, that's enough, you know? If
All I'm going to say is Nico and Munacy have done their best work with stand-ins before.
Okay. We're running it back with a Stewie moment.
Yeah, let's not lose hope completely.
North Macedonia is not that close to Malta. I'm not going to change my pick because I made this pick before the event, but I'll just say I'm kind of ripped me at this moment. But looking at our 8 teams we got here, Vitality, okay, we expected them to be good. I don't think we need to touch too much on them. Furia, very shaky last game, but it is online. So I'm not going to read massively into it, you know? I just think maybe they didn't focus too much on their overpass and the individuals were not stepping up as much as needed to help Mololoy out. By the way, Mololoy was just solo 1v5ing a lot of times. Obviously, he's getting flash and support. I'm not going to knock that. Falcons, Tesses looked so good. I'll tell you this. Tesses on interview to us, he said that obviously there was rumors, all this news, all this information about Tesses going to get kicked, yeah? They're going to bring maybe Jim Fat in. We reported the rumor. Bro, Tesses came back early from vacation before anyone else to grind. And I'm talking about eye test, and people just think I'm crazy. Watch how he is moving his mouse and his crosshair and his aim. It's like prime Tesses spray control, very fast onto the target, like crosshair placement is on point. It was as if like, by the way, he's changed mouse. He changed mouse before Budapest, after Budapest, and now he's back on his old mouse that he was using. Yeah, I'm always checking the mice, the mouse pads and stuff these guys are using. But whatever he's doing, don't change it because he's come in sharp. He wants to sit on his role. And whoever said we're not removing him, we're sticking with this team, they've done a great job. This is really positive because someone must have stuck their neck out for him. And I
Yeah,
also
I
heard,
mean,
by
it
the
could be
way,
that. It
that
could
whole
also be
rumor.
the massive buyouts thing that we talked about last episode with Apex and stuff like that. It couldn't really.
Yeah,
It could be just
but I'll tell you this:
unworth it.
the rumor we heard, yeah, supposedly now from the sources that was given to us. And by the way, it wasn't just my sources. Striker also said reliable sources that go to him said about Yimfat as well. It seems that this news was put out there by Yimfat's agent, and that put the feelers out and made this stuff happen. So sometimes we can just get baited by that. So even the best of us can be caught at times. But yeah, Falcons test is very positive. Spirit, I'm going to say this for now. I don't see a massive difference in their T sides. It's online, so I can't really count the vibes too much. They played really well against Sinners. Yeah. Bit close on Mirage, a slow start.
I spoke with Magix a little bit at the HLTV award. He said that.
What are you chatting about?
So I asked him, like, how it's gonna feel about being in game leader, etc., etc.
Yeah.
What will kind of change? And he said that, I mean, it's still gonna be, Hallie's system, but he is going to push for a little bit more freedom and more control for him compared to what Chopper had. That's what he said.
I like that. Big balls, Boris.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Because remember, Boris already said, by the way, he's like, if I go back to a top tier team, I don't want to play the bitch roles anymore. So he's gone to an IGL. He's got some responsibility. Maybe wants to use that responsibility. I like it. I enjoy hearing that.
Bitch roles.
Yeah, but I mean, you got some more say now, There's some more positives in that than just being the anchor, drop the guns for Donk. He's still dropping guns for Donk. That's just going to happen. But if you want more of a voice in the team, fair enough. Today against Inner Circle was very dominant as well. Donk was just flying high. Yeah. Donk might even be the highest rated player of the whole thing again already. Yeah, Donk's right up there. Donk 176, Zwei 161. By the way, how do you say the Swedish kid on Heroic's name? Nilo or Nilo?
Like in English, it's Nilo.
How would you say it?
Nilo is how you would say it in Swedish.
Okay, yeah, because some commentators say Nilo, some say Nilo. I've been saying Nilo. Oops, somebody's dropping down. I was saying Nilo.
Swedes don't care. You don't have to use the Swedish pronunciation for Swedish players. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. But I'll say this, that I'm just waiting to see Spirit play a top team. That's all I want to see. What difference can we made there? There's not much else we can make on it. There are expected for Liquid. Bro, Liquid would be a top 10, top 8, whatever team in the world without Ultimate. Ultimate is a liability. He's not a top tier AWPer. It feels like whoever picked him was twisting someone else, right? They just left them with like not that great of a player. Some of the misses, some of the decision making, some of the just swinging out and dying for no reason. Like he puts them in uncomfortable situations. His best map's Ancient, and even on Ancient at times it wasn't comfortable. Alicia's the one saving the day. I'm still worried about them. And the thing is, I like talking to Roland. He gives some funny interviews. He's got some content behind him. But I mean, it's just tough to watch him.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very tough to watch him.
They did play, I think, still two kind of tough middle of the pack teams in NIP and Gentlemates. And they kind of narrowly. I still think Gentlemates. I think Gentlemates is a tough team to play against because they are very explosive. Okay. They're very all in. If you lose the grip of that match, it can kind of swell over really, really quickly. NIP, I still think is kind of a tough match. If you just look at the entire list, I mean, I would rather play an OG, Hot 2, Passions, Friendly Campers. I'm just saying
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
this list, Sinners, Ecstatic, middle of the pack. They're decent
Mm-hmm.
opponents. Uh, but they just narrowly made it through. They could have just as easily dropped both of those games to some degree. Got saved by Leash in the first one against NIP.
Yeah.
There's very little hope for them in this. I see them as potentially, if I would rate the teams, I think I would honestly rate
Yeah.
Heroic and Paravision above them. GamerLegion, I'm like so on. I don't really know where to put GamerLegion right now. But Liquid might potentially
Yeah.
be the worst team out of this 8.
I could agree with that. And thing is, it took some crazy heroics from Shuhei and some of the game as well against Gentlemates. Ultimate, at least in the NIP game, is only the first game, but like he performed 0.79, sorry, as an AWPer against NIP.
Yeah.
Like, it's one game. I'm not going to read so much into it, but I've seen too many of these games from Ultimate now. Obviously, they want to run it, though. I don't think even Liquid want to spend any more money on CS right now and trying to get these things to work. But I'll give him until the next half of the season, yeah, until we go into the second part of 2026 before if Liquid can't get, like, remember, there's so much money in Liquid as an organization. There's such a big organization in Counter-Strike. They have to start making deep runs in playoffs.
Yeah. I
And
mean, when was
unless
the
Ultimate's doing something in
last
practice that we've
time?
not seen yet, he's had enough time. He's had enough time.
It's kind of crazy when you look at Liquid, their team page. The
Mm-hmm.
last like trophy, you get these stickers on HLTV profile. The
Yeah, yeah,
last one
yeah.
is from fucking April 2020. It's ESL Pro League season 11, North
North America,
America,
by the way. It's just North America.
just
So when's
North
the last
America.
international one they had? The last international
That
one was Chicago 2019.
Yeah,
And by the way, think of this. This is an organization that almost all their games they've had success in. They're even having success in World of Warcraft raiding. Yeah? And yet they're probably pumping millions into Counter-Strike without having success. Keith,
we met at
Naf,
World of
he's now
Warcraft
living in,
Raider.
yeah, we met him and we got to take a photo with him in Budapest. He's a CS
Yeah,
fan. That was dope.
that
Shout
was
out to him one
that
time.
was sick.
He came on my stream and said hi as well. He said hi to both of us.
Oh,
Cool guy. And by the way, when I say like he was like wanting to say hi to us, bro's a top tier World of Warcraft raider. Like that's not easy at all. That's not easy when you're doing these what is
it's
it?
fucking
Race to
commitment.
world first.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Dedication, man. But I'll just say this. I'm looking at it from the orgs angle. How much more money and time things you want to put into this if you're gonna like it's been 7 years since the last big trophy. And you've spent so much on transfers, buyouts, wrong moves, Twist coming back, now Elige coming back. Naf has still been a consistent piece. We were nearly sold on him not doing well. The team believed in him. He's back. He's definitely back and in a good spot. But like Elige is in Europe, Naf is in Europe. Like this team needs to start performing. And right now, my biggest eyes are on Naf and no, not Naf, sorry, Nerds and Ultimate.
yeah.
But yeah, something's got to change. Something has to change for them.
I was just looking through the
Quick touch on
list of the
Paravision.
players.
Oh, dude, it's changed so much.
Yeah.
Go on, remind me just to make me more unhappy about Liquid.
The last time Stewie was obviously on the lineup, but they had Grim,
Yeah,
Fallen, OC, Shocks, Jakindar, Waker, Patsy, Skulls, Cadian, Miffer as coach, JKS, Ultimate Nerds, Shui Flashy.
Nitro, OC.
I mean, before that, it was obviously Stewie 2K, Taco, Steel, the Brazilian,
Yeah.
Twist, Stanislaus, Zeus, Pimp, JDM, Peacemaker, Kusta,
Okay, you're going
Simple.
way back now. You're going way back. You're going
Yeah,
10 years back. Some of our people are not even watching CS back then. But I mean, like, this is tough. This is really tough. So yeah,
yeah,
this to me, in the next 5 months of play up until the major, Liquid needs to be making some playoffs. And by the way, they're not going to events like Cluj-Napoca, which could have good points for them. I don't know what they're doing, but that like they're whoever's running the VRS thing in there, if they don't do well now when they go to where are they in Krakow? Are they in They're in the first stage, right? Yeah, first stage. Stage one is not going to be easy for them. First game's NIP, so another NIP matchup. They're literally repeating. Yeah. Got to win 2 games there to go through to the main stage 2 of I Am Krakow,
Yeah.
where all the big teams lie, and then it gets even harder for them. And I don't see them as a team that can make it playoffs there. And then you're going to be losing more VRS points, and then you've got to skip Cluj because you already said no to it. It's one of the only big teams, them and Spirit not going, which is crazy. Like, this is bad for Liquid. This is really bad.
But I mean,
All right,
they're
Paravision.
gonna get some VRS for this. But
Yeah,
Paravision,
but
yes.
if they just lose now, it's not great. Paravision continues to be positive. Zwei is legit in this team. And I think Hugo and Harry were mentioning it on the cast when they were covering the games. Do you know what's
Yeah.
great about these guys? Is that it's not just stuck in their ways. I'm just going to bring up both the Ents game. Ents is not a tough team for them to take down, but they win 16-7, then overtime on Anubis 22-20. Zwei is topping the scoreboards 145 rating. They seem, or James seems to respect him as like a right hand man now, who they're letting have freedom and take space and
Yeah.
play the way he wants. And then he had a 192 rating. He is the second highest rated player of the event, only above Miss Donk. And guess what? This is what happens when you give a player the space and the roles and the freedom, like not anchor version of Zwei that we got on Spirit.
I was just about to say it. I think it's the right way to nurture talent. It's the right way to. I mean, when you looked at Sway, like in Spirit, he looked deflated. He looked nervous. He looked shaky. It was like almost like he
Yeah.
knew he was going to make a
Uncomfortable.
mistake. Yeah, super uncomfortable. And here we see a Sway. He's playing around in the game. We see his fluent movement. It doesn't feel like anything he's doing is viewed as a mistake from the outside, like it's almost like in
Yeah.
Spirit he knew that everything he did was a mistake no matter what, so he couldn't really play out to him to his strength. um and now we see,
Now he's the second most experienced player.
yeah, tons of experience gained. This whole Paravision team, the amount of experience they've gained, especially in close games, like they've played so many overtimes in majors
Yeah.
that now, you know the wheels are turning. They're finding solutions. They know that they can grind the games out. And it's probably one of the toughest opponents you could play overtimes against is Paravision at the moment. And they showed
Mm-hmm.
it once again against Ants on Anubis. I'm
Definitely.
just super
Definitely. Very
excited about
positive about him.
Paravision. Yeah, super excited. I think they got such a massive firepower upgrade from removing AW to adding Sway that, yeah, I could see them being a top 10 team this year.
And a change of pace as well. And this is while VP, by the way, continues to fail, can't even make it to Rio qualifiers. They got rid of Jame, they got rid of Dastan, worst moves possible as
Yep.
Paravision rise on up and find their way to success.
And I'll even mention this just because it's funny that VP added Problem as their new coach.
To add more problems to their roster. It's a telling sign. Yes, a positive about Paravision, positive about Zwei. Then coming on to GamerLegion. Bro, GamerLegion. So Passion UA first game. I thought Passion UA would have a lead in that one. It was a great start from Passion UA, 13-4 first map. Then they lose Mirage. They lose Inferno. PR did an interview with me where he said he was unsure of how he would play or how good he would play under the way that Snacks likes to call.
Yep.
Still looks sharp as ever. Still looks confident. Maybe some adjustment in there. Towson's still super stable and reliable, not a liability. Rez, obviously, we know him. He's there to be the experienced one who's also older, but also wiser and somehow almost getting back to peak level. It's kind of crazy situation for him. Maui summarized this that's like Snacks is like the perfect IGL for this team who's going through all these changes in just the pace changes he can hit, some of the out of spawn calls he'll hit, how he'll sometimes do the mid rounding, which he wasn't able to do on G2. Snacks told us that himself on the interview as well. Like he had Manus, he had Nico, he couldn't be doing it that way before. But this right now is working for him, and he's almost enjoyed this step back again, back into GamerLegion. Because obviously G2 got him from GamerLegion.
And I also, I mean, you have to kind of talk about Hypex as well. I think he's been incredible in this lineup. He had some good games here as well, both against Aurora and Passion UA. And they have solved the open question, I feel like now. I think we can kind of stabilize this right now. They don't need
Yeah.
to think about it. It's certain he's going to be the Roper. And he looks good. He looks really good.
Good pistol.
Yeah.
Good pistol with that Orpa as well. You know, he's getting it done. He had a sick. It was Inferno against Aurora, sick 3K. Just to give him that pistol on CT side was awesome. I remember that so clearly. And obviously they beat Aurora as well. Yeah, it's Aurora with one player change, but like, look at this. You've changed IGL and a player and a coach because Ash is taking his time out for like mental health reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
So bigger changes on GamerLegion, and they still beat Aurora to make it to the LAN final. And Snacks and the coach, they picked Aurora. You know, they had the choice on the draft to pick, and they said, I want to play Aurora. And they could see it. They could see where it would work for them. And they, by the way, they had Zontaris tilted. Zontaris was mega tilt. 7-12. By the way, this is another thing. I don't care, Zontaris. You are a legend of Turkish CS, and you've done some great things. You've been a top tier rifler for so long. You got to fix that mental, bro. I don't care if it's online, whatever it is. As such an experienced player, that mental can't be breaking like that. It almost felt like he was trying to do too much and just not wait for flashes or timings on things and over commit to situations that got him punished.
Yeah. I mean,
some shit hit him, by the way, that was a bit bullshit. Like, there was one round where Snacks went upstairs on Mirage as he was falling, was shooting and just killed Dantaros in the head. Like, that was some bullshit. I would be tilt too, but you got to control it. Like, you are a pro player
classic
after all.
Snacks bullshit. But
yeah, it really was.
I think I still wonder about Aurora. I think they will be better this season, no matter what. I think it's too early to tell, but once they establish Anubis as their kind of main map again, which there's no real other direction they can go. They were only really, really good when they
had a
had
bad
Anubis.
map pool anyway.
And they had a really bad map pool. I mean, look at Inferno. They train wasn't that great. Like, if they can have Dust 2, they can have the Anubis. I think they could be in a path where they just find that third map that can be really good for them. They can be a really strong team. But Anubis, I think, is core for them. I think I wouldn't be worried for Aurora this season just because of Anubis coming back.
I'll only be worried if he keeps tilting like this. Then I would be worried. Yeah. But we're not here to talk about Aurora. It was GamerLegion talk. You've derailed us again, mate. You've gone the wrong way.
But you said Aurora, didn't you?
Yeah, but I just said Aurora's not through. We're talking about our top 8 teams now. You've just gone off it because I was talking about the fact that
Zontaris.
GamerLegion beat Aurora. Yeah, and just Zontaris tilting.
Fuck it. We'll add it in there.
The other one was this heroic side making it through. This is a heroic without a dedicated AWPer. Yeah. Youngster's not the AWP normally. Alcarom is supposed to be there, but he's got visa issues. So Youngster's back in. Youngster got like 2 days notice. He was not even at his home. He was away with friends or family. And then he had to come back in, fill in, and just go to boot camp with the boys. Yeah. Nilo, really good, bro. But the thing is, I think I tweeted this about Nilo. I need to remember what I tweeted. Nilo basically has had good performances online. He's had good times to shine. But like, this is his best good level event. So like, right when I tweeted a couple of days ago, this is on the 17th, Nilo was 5th in the whole ratings, 1.59 after 4 maps, yeah? In Chengdu, 0.93 rating. Fisher Playground 2, obviously lesser good teams, 1.20. Esports World Cup, 0.95. Even though they won the first couple of games, they made it to top 8. IM Cologne, 13th to 16th, 0.75. He has struggled. He has struggled against better teams. Whatever's changed, or whether he's feeling more confident, or it's the roles, or whatever's happened, Nilo is putting up numbers, and he's looking really clean when doing it. if he can just give me one good series on LAN, I'll buy back into Nilo. I'll be buying back into him.
I've always I felt like heroic is gonna swing up this season, but that was mostly not because of the every other player. I felt like Chrism for me, IGL. He looks so
You liked
promising.
him on
As
OG.
I loved what they did in
Mm-hmm.
OG. They couldn't really translate it into those crucial moments. Felt like maybe that wasn't really his fault, but more like a complete choke of the team in certain
Yeah.
situations where they just couldn't play out the rounds where they had the situations to win. Um, but I like the way he calls. I like the way they structure the game. So I think that they're gonna be looking upwards for this season. And having someone like Nilo step up, having someone like xFloud play the way that he does right now, uh, Susp coming in,
Yeah.
he is super
The player that
solid.
Aurora let get away.
Yeah, like a super, super solid player. I think it's just looking really good for them. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different with Alcaran. They probably played a little bit more, yeah, maybe a slightly different just because they didn't have a dedicated Oper.
Yeah. But I'll just say them making it to the LAN is crazy. Remember, they've got Tobis now as a coach. No Saw there. Krizen's
Yeah,
in. Nilo and Sasp, xFloud, like youngster filling in and doing his best for the team. Still very positive when we spoke to him on the interview. Still like fully behind doing what the team needs. And remember how this will work is that we'll go through the seedings, yeah, a blast, and it depends on the blast seeding exactly. So I can't remember off the top of my head, but we won't know the matchups because they have to pick each other again in the draft that we'll do on Wednesday.
yeah,
But I think it will be like Liquid pick first, then Paravision, then GamerLegion, and Heroic. That's just off memory. So
okay,
Heroic's gonna be left with like probably a Vitality, Falcons, Fury, or something like that. Yeah. So it gets tough from here anyway. But I just want to see Nilo have a good game, win or lose, and I can get back on his train because I was hyped about him ages ago. Then it disappointed me, and then he wasn't used correctly in Heroic. Remember, they brought him into the team to then put him on the bench for a while. We still never worked out what like the reasons were, but it could get interesting. Um, because we don't know the matchups, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's just do it this way. Which team who are not Vitality, Fury, or Falcon Spirit do you think has the best chance of making a win here and going at least to semis?
Paravision.
Paravision, yeah.
Yep, 100% Paravision for me.
Nice. I'm gonna say GamerLegion.
Oh,
I'm believing
okay.
some stacks magic. Believe I'm gonna just be on land enjoying himself, getting up to some antics. Something can happen in there, but it all depends on the draft order and how it will work. You said Spirit to win the whole thing. I said Falcons, but I said that last episode before I knew about Kioski's disappearance. But I'm not going to change it. We're just stick with our guns on it all. We've got one question for Q&A. We keep plugging the Q&A to you guys. If you don't like the Q&A, that's fair enough. I might just start writing questions myself. Devilwalk, what did you have for breakfast today? Devilwalk, how are you feeling?
For breakfast, I had two
This
cups of
question.
coffee.
Oh my god. And played
I
CS.
usually do you wanna hear it seriously? I don't really
Oh
eat
no.
breakfast. So my
I made you eat
girlfriend,
breakfast during the major with me.
yeah, yeah. But when I work, I do it. But I don't do it at home.
No consistency.
I just don't. It's not my deal. But
All right.
when you, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I'm knackered, mate. I've worked all day. Um, Arkles, he says, for those like me who haven't watched much of the online portion of Blast Bounty, what was the most entertaining match so far? For me, Eyeballers FaZe was super entertaining. Big
Eyeballer's
upset.
face is for
Monty
me.
versus Navi. But then this Furia game versus Foot is 100% one you need to watch and see to understand how close it was that Furia would have been eliminated and Foot would have made it through. That would be my recommendations.
I mean, even on the subreddit, there's like bunch of
Mm-hmm.
pictures of Pita, the coach of Eyeballers,
Oh, his
with
reactions,
all his
bro.
different reactions to stuff. I love this meme. I don't know if you're gonna be able to watch this,
Send
Banks,
it
but
to
I'll
me.
send it to you. This one, is great.
Is it when he broke the chair?
No.
Oh, the one with the that's if he's opening the skin, but it's
someone pointed the deagle at him, raising his hands.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, I thought it was like opening. Yeah, they're just.
Oh, he's just pointing.
Bro, there's
the
one
deagle.
where he was like there and they missed. By the way, this is to go back against Vitality. They won Anubis. Yeah, it's a 2v1. Vitality have forced the plant the bomb with timing. Royf was having the stinker of a game. He's gonna feel bad about this. Yeah. He runs out to just swing the planter, but the planter's not in front of him. It's like round and tucked into the corner towards B main. Yeah. So he just focuses on the bomb. His teammate dies when Royf could have killed the guy fighting his teammate who had his back turned to him, and he completely whiffs it. While then that guy manages to spin round and kill Royf because he's just focusing on the bomb. So that turns a 3v2 into a 1v2, and there's obviously no chance for Eyeballs to win it. And if this is on 15-14, so if he just killed the guy facing B main, it would have been a 2v1, and they could have played it calmly, and most likely at least won Anubis. And remember, it was such a good fight from them. Such a good fight from them.
I will say most Swedes say Rolf for this.
Rolf, okay.
Like the one is an L in this case.
These nicknames. Rolf Harris. Shout out to Rolf Harris one time. Awesome. Well, we are done for episode 47.
Yeah.
Wasn't too bad in terms of timing. We don't have any other events to cover onto. Next episode will be when Blast Bounty finishes, the season's ends, before Krakow begins. Maybe we film it in the hotel here again before I go home to try and get it out early enough. But that's why we're doing this episode now so late, so we get it out for you guys to watch and get all the insight and juicy info. Guys, do always, please, like, comment, subscribe. When you comment, first of all, things I'd like to know. Where are you watching from in the world? What do you like about the podcast? What else would you like to see? We haven't done a devil walkthrough in a time, so I'm going to say devil.
Yes.
Stop being lazy. Do a devil walkthrough sometime.
That we should do.
Yeah. You've been slacking, bro.
Yeah. No, I should definitely do it. I'll do one for Blast Bounty. I have to Blast Bounty.
Be watching. Get your eyes on it. Bring something in. Give us that analysis again. All right. But either way, thank you very much for everyone for watching. I am completely dead. I need to get some rest. Devilwalk's probably going to go grind some FaZe solo, and I'll hear about his antics tomorrow. But that is us done and dusted for episode 47. Thank you as always for watching. See you soon.